Hi guys, welcome to John's Ideas. This is a newish idea that I've been trying to build for about the past 3 months. This is a mini rock crawler using 3-link suspension. It is as short as it possibly can be, except for 3 studs, but it's pretty well short as possible. You could probably make it a little bit more skinnier, but that would make it so that it's more risk of tipping over on rock crawling on stuff. It is powered by a singular L motor in the rear, which is then powered by 2 drop boxes, which then get powered all the way down into the drive shafts, which then go into the solid axles. My original attempt at this tried to have portal axles for an extra height, because in the front it only has a singular inch of clearance, which is really not that much from here to the floor. So I tried my best at that. And the shocks don't really work. Well, they do, but they don't, because the way of connecting them is by using a ball joint attached to these pieces, so that when it articulates, it then swivels onto the ball joint, which makes it so that it can flex. But the amount of studs from here to here is a odd number, and Lego doesn't make that piece, and so they just more go up and down, as you can see. So they're more used as guide bars more than actual shocks, but it's okay. It gets the job done. From the piece right here down is 1.5 inches of clearance, which is a little bit less than I would like to, but it's fine for what it is, because the only other way of clearance is by having it raised up. But then but when it's raised up according to the studs, it is then having the drive shafts be tilted at an angle that it does not like, and it leads to some cracking. So yeah, and this is not 100% Lego. There is a piece right in here that is 3D printed, and here is the bottom of it. So you can see that 36 tooth gear right there with the second drop box goes straight into the axles, so that it can all work, with the right angle gearboxes to be used as axles. And then these are the 2 bottom linkages, and you can see that blue thing right there is more forward by 1 stud than this, which I'm pretty sure makes it so that when it goes up with the suspension, instead of going straight up, it's actually starting to go at an angle going up, which is pretty weird, but I'm just trying to build this off of figuring it out. Now, the steering isn't really that interesting, but I thought it would be very delightful if anybody else is trying to build something like this. Using a Lego actuator with a Lego motor is actually a really good idea for steering and stuff like this, including when you're going to be up close and personal with the car, and you're not going to be far away watching it drive really fast. The Lego actuator is really good for steering as long as you're driving really slowly and you can be up close looking at it, because you can't really, unlike a turn servo, you can't the Lego turn servo goes 90 and 90 both ways, where the Lego actuator can go out and go back, but it can't go back straight, so you got to look at it to make sure that it goes straight. Now, I have a universal joint here and a universal joint here, and Lego uses these in CVs a lot, and there's a slip right here, so I need it, so that when it articulates, that it can slip. Well, not slip, but it can come out and go in appropriately. So, and I can't put this beam in here or here because of how the Legos are. So I have it in here in an enclosure so then it can be able to bend out, which also helps with the angle of approachment that I'm coming from. So just a quick tip if anybody is doing this, and it works pretty good. You can get some pretty good steering angle. I have a red marker on here to show where the end is. You can get some pretty good steering angle, and then you can also get pretty much the same steering angle the other way around, but it seems to be a little bit less on this model. And I think this would be a cool size comparison. The 4x4 Extreme Off-Roader uses these tires. These are fake ones from Amazon. I also used them on my 2 other rock crawlers. And it is just 2 of them is about the same size as this RC car right here, which I think is kind of funny. And you can see just how big they are compared to it. And on the topic of size, it is almost 9 inches, which is pretty close, which is really small actually for Legos, and that is from tire to tire. That is not from axle to axle. And then on the front, if we line that up, it is almost 6 inches in the front. You can get a little bit more travel, but this is pretty much all the travel that you're going to get, except just a little bit more, just a little bit. But this is as much travel as it is with the with these installed. But without them installed, it can get a lot higher. Case in point, you can see that it can get a full tire up of angle, and it can actually drive like this. But the only reason why I don't do that is because then this frame right here, when the motor torques up, it just starts bending the entire thing. This is what it looks like with the shocks not attached, so they're just floating there. As you can see, the whole body rolls. This video is a lot longer than it was supposed to be, so there will be a part 2 on this video of what it actually is capable of and driving around. That will be hopefully tomorrow of posting this video. So thank you guys for watching, and bye bye.